Why don't I see it?
Come on, man. We're live.
Why don't I see it? Why don't I see it?
We're going to have to cut all this out.
Have you? Oh, there we go. Blah, 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 blah. What do you mean cut all this out?
What kind of intro is this? You're talking about leveling up the stream, and then we're going to get this kind of intro?
Shh. Okay, I think we're good. Welcome to the show. Grab your Steve Weisers. We do not do long intros here. I'm Heel Harry. This is Big Tyson. Let's go ahead and kick off Raw. What'd you think of this week in Raw, man? I almost had it. I almost nailed it. It was perfect.
Raw this week. I don't even know. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I was just burnt out on wrestling as a whole by the time we got to Raw.
You did say that.
So
Now you watched what was it? Battleground? Is that what it was? That kind of kicked it off for you?
So we had Night of Champions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The following night, which was Sunday, we had Battleground and All Elite. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of
All
it.
In.
Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah,
Double or
yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
AEW. So they were all this weekend. So it was a lot of wrestling.
And you decided to watch all of them?
I did.
What was your favorite one? Who put on the best show? You got the lowest of the low in NXT, because I mean, Jesus Christ, they are the lowest of the low. I tried watching the weekly show this week, and oh man, Carmelo Anthony is
that's Carmelo Hayes.
I'm sorry, Carmelo Hayes is probably the easiest one to watch, but even then, he's not that great. I found myself skipping through most of it, but so you have that. Then you have, WWE, which is very polished, and it's almost like the Ringling Brothers circus, where everything's just the flips are on time, and everything is just on point. And you got AEW, where it's basically the same thing, but they're not as polished. They're a little bit more free to do whatever they want, so it's not as constricted. You can tell it's not as rehearsed.
Yeah. It was a good show. I think Night of Champions was probably the best show just because of how it ended.
Okay.
I would say, like, as a whole, none of them were like beginning to end just spectacular.
All right.
Double or Nothing, it came down to two matches. That was the Fatal 4-Way title match and the Anarchy in the Arena. NXT came down to
who was in the Fatal 4-Way?
It was Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, MJF, and Sammy Guevara.
That was a fatal. Oh, I thought that was a triple threat. And MJF one?
Yeah.
Okay. I heard. Now I only heard from one source, but I basically heard that that Anarchy in the Arena match is an example of, or it's, how do they put it? It's the worst thing that would happen to WWE, because that would drive so many people away from wrestling that WWE would be affected poorly because of it. I didn't see it. Basically, it was so bad that the WWE will lose money because of it.
Oh, I thought you meant like if it happened in the WWE.
No. Like the AEW that match was so bad that people even remotely interested in wrestling, like even if they see WWE stuff, they'll say no, thank you. I don't want. It's not like that exploding super kick shit. But
Well,
again,
that's
I didn't.
whoever that source is just doesn't like sports entertainment or
uh,
AEW. That I can put that more on. They just don't like AEW.
Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But I didn't see it, so I can't say. I'm not saying yay or nay on the other one. I did see clips of the that anarchy in the arena, and I do know that that wouldn't be for me.
Well, it's not for everyone. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, I would give those two matches. NXT, it came down to really one match: Ilya Dragunov versus Dominik Dijakovic,
Yeah.
and then and then we had Night of Champions. At this point, I don't even remember anything outside of the main event, but I remember
Well,
I liked it.
Gunther made short work of Mustafa. Ripley, she destroyed Natalia. Asuka rubbed her spit in Bianca Belair's eyes. So we
By
have
the
new.
way, about that,
Yep,
Gunther beat Mustafa so bad that he put him back in NXT.
I saw that. Yeah,
Like that's how bad he beat him.
yeah. Baron Corbin's got a job to Carmelo Anthony too, so
Yep.
it's hard times for him. Like that's how bad do you have to be that you just got to go to NXT to just lose?
Well, he's a free agent. So is Mustafa.
Well, you better be a free agent. He's gonna be a
He's
free
gonna,
agent somewhere else,
he's gonna be a real life free
right?
agent. He's just foreshadowing his future.
I think so.
Yeah, he's probably on that old budget cut list that's a brewing.
Like, really, how hard is it to find somebody that looks like a penis that can, take a loss and be laughed at?
Well, honestly, I do think you need like jobbers that have personality. So I don't know. I think I'm okay with him being there.
I guess, but in terms of him being on the main, like how it's kind of like Tozawa. After as soon as he lost to Ripley, he's nothing. So now Baron Corbin, he's going to go to NXT and he's going to lose because there's no way he's going to beat the Carmelo.
And I don't think he's supposed to.
Exactly. So what? He's going to go back to the main roster, and what? Now who's he going to beat? If he can't beat Carmelo Hayes,
That's what I said. We need jobbers with personality.
then that's
You
fine.
think Duke the Dumpster Drosy? You think we ever intended on him winning matches or uh what was that other guy?
I don't know.
The big jobber guy? Ah man, I forgot his name. The brawl the brawler
The
something
Brooklyn
something
Brawler.
the Brooklyn Brawler, there we go.
Yeah.
You think we ever expected him to win until he did? He
Yeah,
was
all
a
the time.
lovable jobber
All the time. In fact, they had a little winning streak. Both
with
of
one
them.
match.
No. They both like went 25-3.
Heath Slater, he was a jobber. I got kids.
Uh huh.
And then he kept jobbing none of those people. I'm just saying, you gotta have some jobbers with personality. It's
Right,
okay
but
to be a jobber.
so if Heath Slater were to go to NXT and then lose, what sense does it make if he goes back to the main roster? If he can't win,
We know he wasn't going to win, though. That's the point. The point is, we know he's not going to win, and nor do we care that he does not win or lose.
I do because he's in the main roster.
Oh, well, if everybody's winning, then who
He's taking
loses?
he's taking somebody's
Now,
spot.
now you're talking about being 50-50 booked.
Not at
If you
all.
win one week and lose the
You
next
gotta
week,
earn it. That's all. See, back in the day, that's all I got.
everybody won all the time.
Yeah, everybody won.
There you go.
There were no losses.
But there have to be losses for there to be wins. Hmm? Hmm?
No, some people just won better than others. Ah,
I don't even know what that means.
yeah, some people had a better win than others.
Of course they did.
Like, what's a better win? Winning 80 or 75 to nothing, or winning at the last second?
Depends on who you're asking. You know, if you're if you're asking Sports Center, the last second win is more impressive because you can play clips of that over and over again, as opposed to the blowout. It's over at halftime. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
oh, they won 75 to nothing. Whatever. Talk about someone else.
the blowout offers a lot of clips, though.
No, it doesn't.
It sure does.
Who remembers a blowout?
Everybody.
Tell me one blowout that's just like that's just like sitting in your mind that just like you go back to all the time. And I'm going to
Uh,
tell you, and I'm going to counter right now before you even go. I'm
yeah.
going to counter with UT versus USC Rose Bowl. And I'm going to counter it with that, and you go and tell me your blowout that is comparable to that.
Whoa! You just how are you gonna move the goalpost? You just move the goalpost before you finish the thing.
No, you
No,
said
no, no, no. You started off with me bringing up a blowout that comes to mind, and then you're like, "Whoa, hold on!" Before you give me an example and do as I ask, let me give you one of my own. But now you got to give me one better. Fuck
no. I'm
you.
just saying that's the bar. That's my bar. UT versus USC Rose Bowl, and that's University of Texas. Vince Young running it in on the last play. Miami versus Ohio State triple overtime. You give me something up there, but that was a blowout.
Well, USC and UT wasn't a blowout.
I know you're saying the blowout was good. A blowout good.
I didn't say either one of them was good.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said
That's why we're here.
I asked you. I asked you what's more fucking better or valuable or something.
Yeah, you said what was a better win, and I said
Yeah, I
the
didn't
close
say either
win.
one of them. I didn't say for either one of them. You're assuming that the blowout is my my horse in this race.
Well, I'm just saying those two games they were close. I remember where I was. I remember what I was eating. I remember my reaction. All of that.
That I can't remember who Nebraska played, but they were number one, and then they got blown out at like the conference champion. They may have played Texas, but they got annihilated. They ended up going back to the national championship to lose anyway, but I just remember them getting crushed. and I remember somebody in the crowd when they it was like 65-0 before halftime or something crazy. And somebody in the crowd goes, "Oh, that's okay. They're a second half team." And everybody laughed and chuckled. If you want a better close game, I'd say Ohio State, Miami.
That was my example.
No, you said USC and Texas.
No, I said, well, the other one, and then I said Miami, Ohio State triple overtime.
Oh,
Or was it double
no,
overtime? Double
it was
or triple
triple
overtime?
overtime.
Yeah.
It was the overtime where you couldn't kick the extra point anymore.
Yes. The overtime where there was that blatant foul that they didn't call.
It wasn't a blatant foul.
Oh, it was a foul. That guy fouled him so bad. Pass interference all day. No call. Game over.
And you're overlooking the defensive holding.
Well, okay, then they even out. Then there's another play.
No, they even out. So the play would still stand. The penalty is offset.
Yeah, and then they replay it down.
They don't replay the down. The
Yeah,
down
they
still
do.
stands. It's as if they both cancel each other out, so nothing happens.
They replay the down.
They don't replay shit.
If there's a double foul, they do. Now, if there
No,
could be
because the
a
the
foul
foul's
before the
offset.
whistle.
Why are we talking about another sport? This is a wrestling show.
Okay, well, Seth Rollins, he starts the show out. We get about 10 minutes of sing along with Seth Rollins.
Boy, do we. God damn.
And yes, as he's walking down the aisle and he keeps doing the ear thing, leading the chorus. This is his championship celebration. And before we get too far into it, we have Judgment Day. They come out and interrupt Seth Rollins. We already know where this is going before they even said a word. Like as the first chorus hit, you already knew where this is going. Oh, wait. Sorry. Let me back up just a second here. AJ Styles came out. SmackDown's AJ Styles came out to congratulate Seth Rollins. And then Judgment Day comes out. So you already knew. Now the picture's already set where the main event is going.
Has there been a Raw where a SmackDown person hasn't been on it?
No. Not since the draft. No.
Okay. So why the fuck do we have a draft?
I don't know. It was a sham.
It's always a sham.
It is always a sham, but this year it just seems like it's even more in your face that it's a sham.
Okay.
Like it's just I don't know. It's even more out there this time.
I just feel like everywhere there's a SmackDown person. I don't know about SmackDown. I don't really care. Usually the better my favorites are on Raw, but the better show is SmackDown.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of Raw, I noticed this week, and I know we said it before, but it just like really stuck out this week that all the O's are on Monday Night Raw. You got Shinsuke Nakamura, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. They're all on Monday Night Raw. They put all the O's on one show.
Good, they can have them.
But yes, we could sing along with Seth. And then he also, to note, in this segment, he ripped his pants.
Did he really?
Yes. So, because, they were so tight, he couldn't do anything at them. So, as he was jumping the barricade, he ripped his pants. It had to be Becky's pants. So, he had a hole
The
in him.
whole outfit was Becky's.
Well, it was the same from Night of Champions. But yeah, big old rip in his pants at the crotch area, and they made fun of it later that night. But he shouldn't have been wearing pants that tight. If you knew you were gonna have to get over the barricade, why are you wearing pants that tight?
Maybe they
Uh,
survived the test run.
Can I get a quarter in this? But yes, we set up a match. AJ Styles, he will be teaming with Seth Rollins in the main event versus Judgment Day as now we didn't know which two members of Judgment Day were going to be in the match, but you knew, well, obviously you knew it was going to be Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
I would have thought
Um,
Finn Balor and I don't know.
Now, truth be told, I didn't watch the main event, so I couldn't even tell you which two members it was. But
Man, I was gonna ask you if Ripley did a meaningful stare down with Seth Rollins because she's on his level.
no, but she did tease taking his title.
Oh, there you go. There it is. Okay. See, I knew that's why I skipped it too. It's just I knew there was gonna be some shit like that, and I didn't want to
And
get
then
angry.
yeah, and then they also teased Dom taking his title, and then
That
yeah,
makes
they
me that makes me just as angry.
well you had AJ and Rollins laugh at him at that point.
Yeah,
But I was thinking that is actually not a bad idea. I'm not
Dom.
saying right now, but I'm saying at some point with the heat he has, you have Dom win that title, and it makes it nuclear heat,
I'd
even
say
more so than he already has.
I'd say give him like the U.S. title first, just to see. Because yeah, he has. Everybody hates him, but like the worst thing you want to do is give him the belt, and then nobody gives a shit. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think people will care.
I think they'd
You,
still hate him.
I think yes, that's what I'm saying.
W-
It'll be so polarizing. You'll have
But would they hate him any? I don't know if they would hate him any more than they already do. That's why I say like try giving him a maybe a secondary title just to see like if the crowd even gives a shit with their hatred. Like, are they going to hate him even more? Does he get an even bigger reaction, or does he get the same reaction?
well, to be honest with you, I don't know how much bigger reaction he can get. Like it's already at a level where it's easily the most reaction on Raw.
Well,
I
I
would
feel
say
like
his boos are louder than like okay, if I would rank it, Cody's O, and then Dom's boos, and then Seth Rollins O's. That's like the top three reactions.
I don't know. I feel like he peaked after he had his war with his daddy. Now he just seems like Ripley's valet.
Well, he knows how to work the crowd. Like you can see
He's
him.
yeah, he's good. It's just it's not for me.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Following that, we go to our first match of the evening. This sees the Miz take on Ricochet,
Yeah.
and this is for the qualifying first qualifier match for the Money in the Bank.
The best part is you knew neither one of them was going to win Money in the Bank, so it was a waste of time.
Well, you know, it's Money in the Bank, it's a ladder match, so surprise, surprise, we got to get Ricochet in it. Now, the funny thing is everybody on the internet scene, because this show got rewritten 3 times, right before it starts. So you have everybody's like, "Oh, this
Did it
is a
really?
Vince McMahon." Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
So that yeah. So that automatically, oh, it's a Vince McMahon show. So this Raw.
Did the whole thing get rewritten?
Uh, I think the final report was just like couple segments were changed, but yeah, how they initially reported was like, oh yeah, he ripped up the whole script or the whole thing for the show and had it rewritten. So everybody's like, yeah, Vince McMahon ran this show. It was a bad show because Vince McMahon bad, Triple H good.
I really don't think
But
he's as involved as he used to be.
well, I think he is.
I think he's involved.
But
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not stupid enough to believe that he's you know, just worried about executive shit. I'm sure he's been doing it forever, but I really do think he's letting Triple H sink or swim.
yeah, I think Triple H has more control than everybody. Um, I mean, what the internet would have you believe is Vince runs Raw, Triple H runs SmackDown. So
Um,
that's what the internet now. That's the internet. Okay. Uh, so two things about this. One, number one, I don't think Vince McMahon. You think Vince McMahon, who's not in the weeds, I would venture to say he doesn't even know who Ricochet is.
that's true.
Much more have needs to have creative control over Ricochet. Oh, I gotta make sure Ricochet gets that push. And that's another thing. Everybody talks about, oh, this is a Vince McMahon show. The Miz wrestled Ricochet. If it was a Vince McMahon, 100% Vince McMahon thing, the Miz would have won that match. But Ricochet won that match. That's Triple H's guy.
Well, you could say like, give me someone who can have a good wrestling belt on a ladder. I want a five-star wrestling belt on a ladder. Give it to me.
Oh, they
Somebody
got
who can grab it by the balls.
Who can grab that brass ring?
But
But yeah, I don't think he's like too involved with what Ricochet's doing.
probably
And
not.
if anybody was going to win that match, yeah, I just think it would have been The Miz if it was a Vince McMahon thing because he loves The Miz. That's why The Miz has like a. That's why The Miz is on TV. Let's just be frank.
He has a lifelong contract.
Yeah, he's the guy they call to go do the Jimmy Kimmel show or what's the other guy's name? Coco, whatever that dude's name is.
Conan?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still does a show. I don't know who does a show anymore. If I'm being honest,
Nobody important.
like I think it died with the Jay Leno's. That was like the last one that I was into.
I liked Conan, but then I stopped watching TV.
Yeah, and then Jimmy Kimmel got a show, and it just went downhill from there. I
Yeah.
don't know. He's just not funny to me.
He was funny on the Man Show. And then yeah.
Even then, I thought the other guy was funnier.
Adam Carolla.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was funny. It took me a while to get him, but um he's not a young man's comedian, if that makes sense. Like his humor, you have to kind of experience life a little bit.
yeah. What I liked about it, it was so dry,
Yeah.
but it was still like funny. But it was so dry. Like he wasn't over delivering his lines or anything. He would just say them, and then you'd get it. But that's besides the point. uh, Ricochet he beats the Miz. You can call it a good match, whatever. it was a good match for the Miz. I don't know where this fountain of wrestling has come from the Miz, but
He's always
he's
been pretty
actually
solid.
yeah. But it seems like lately he's just been trying more in the
Mm,
wrestling realm.
I don't know.
So
I've always thought he's been pretty good.
well, we got another decent match from the Miz, but Ricochet wins. He qualifies as the first person to qualify for Money in the Bank. Next up, we have. Hold on. Next up, we have Becky Lynch. She goes and gets a segment where she gets beat up by Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
So Trish Stratus, she comes out, she does a little interview thing talking about how everybody needs to be thanking Trish. And she says, one person that is thanking me is Zoe Stark. And out comes Becky Lynch. It's 2-on-1, so of course they get the advantage. And that pretty much does that. Again, it does look good that they're building out of all this. Zoe Stark seems to be getting a push out of this. So
Did she
that
have
does
the
look good.
Did she have the braided hair in NXT?
Uh, like one side of it,
Yeah.
she did sometimes. Yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't do it
Just
often.
just seems like that's what they do when they like let's give them some a unique look. It's just braid their hair.
See, that's another thing. I don't think Vince is getting that detail. I don't think he's that far in the weeds. Oh, let's braid that. I'm gonna braid it personally
Well, I can see him.
in my underwear.
I can see him say like, "Oh, braiding the hair work for Trish in '98." So that's what we do for everybody. Because all with the exception of a few of them, all the women look the same.
Okay, I think they all look pretty different.
I said with the exception of a few.
Yeah, but I don't look at their faces. We'll say that. So,
Well, I look at their outfits.
oh, they all look the same to you.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what we got out of the women. I guess we're building again towards a Trish and Becky match at some point,
Well,
and Zoe Stark may get a one-on-one match against Becky.
she's
We shall
wrestling
see.
Natalia this week, and I th- she's new, so you can kind of tell she's still trying to find her voice. Um, it kind of bugged me that Becky, like after she hit what the fuck's her name, or not her name, her finisher's name.
Z360.
Yeah, so she hits that, and then immediately Becky makes to try to get up. It's just I don't know. It's really bugged me.
Well, I don't think she hit it all the way that time. I don't know. She didn't get all of it. I don't know. But yeah, Becky did kind of no sell it.
It's like you've had your moment, Becky. You came from NXT. Like let this lady help her, help her. I do know that I don't want to see Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch again.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're heading that way again. Um,
I'd rather
SummerSlam.
I'd rather see Zoe fight in her stead or something like that.
Well, Zoe's going to get her one-on-one match with Becky at some point. Now, is she going to win it? That's going to be another thing. Maybe because so Becky and Zoe, as you said, they both have matches this coming week. They're both going to be trying to qualify for Money in the Bank. So either they're going to cancel each other out, or they're both going to qualify, and then that's going to lead to having Becky and Zoe in a one-on-one match. Because they always got to do the people who qualified for Money in the Bank. They have to face each other in some weird one way or another, and that's going to build our way up to Money in the Bank.
So it's been a while since I've seen Money in the Bank. Or do Raw and SmackDown people, do they compete in the same match?
Yes, 3-3. Well, it looks like right now it's going to be 3-3. Whoever wins earns the right to challenge. So how they used to do it is you would challenge your brand's champion. So they even took away the whole, any. Well, they still did it. They build it as I know. I keep going around. They still build it as you challenge your brand's champion for the title, but they still did. You can challenge any champion that you wanted to. So
So
yes, they're all competing for one chance.
why have a brand split?
Well, they can't do two Money in the Banks.
They are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're doing one for
No,
the
I
men
mean,
and
they can't do a men's Raw Money in the Bank and a men's SmackDown Money in the Bank. They're just doing a Money in the Bank.
so make Money in the Bank exclusive to one either Raw or SmackDown. It's not like it's one of the big pay-per-views.
It is, actually.
Okay, so if it's that big, then make Royal Rumble for one of the other ones. So Raw gets Money in the Bank, SmackDown gets Royal Rumble. Done.
I like both
Why?
competing for the single chance.
Thank you.
Now,
I do too, which is why they shouldn't have two brands. They should all be one brand fighting for one belt.
well, gone are those days. They gotta fill 5 hours of TV. Can't just be using six guys on two different shows.
You wouldn't have to.
We gotta get, we gotta get down to Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis hit row.
If
You
you
gotta
have
get
one
down there
roster,
for them.
if you have one roster, that gives you more time to flesh out your stories.
But they wouldn't. They would just use. I mean, they already do use the same people on both shows.
Exactly.
So, but I get it. You want them to consolidate.
I want them to stop insulting our intelligence. That's all I want. You're telling me that there's a brand split from day fucking one. We've had SmackDown people on Raw. Not to mention the fact that SmackDown people had a chance to win the Raw title. Just
Not to
have
mention the Raw Women's Champion is on SmackDown.
that too.
You had a SmackDown participant, a SmackDown person win the Raw Women's Championship from another SmackDown participant. So, yeah. I just don't pay attention to the brand split.
I do. I don't like the fact that there's two world champions too.
Well, when I saw AJ Styles, I was like, okay, no brand split. Just forget it. Forget that word. Brand split. It's over. It's just one roster. Just call it a super show. That's the way I looked at it. I don't know why AJ was the breaking point, but there you go.
Okay, fair enough. I just don't like the two belts thing. I don't like the because you don't know who's the guy. I'm
Oh,
used
you know
to
who's the guy.
well, you do, but theoretically, when historically when stuff like this happens, it's always who's better. Now, of course, you have situations where like the Undertaker has one belt and Jeff Hardy has the other. Okay,
Well, if they had a solid brand split, then the two championships wouldn't make sense because we're not seeing this. They're on their own brand, so they're competing. That would be the idea. They're on their own brand. They're competing for their title. It doesn't cross over. But yeah, the way they do it, it's always a crossover. You have AJ Styles on both shows because he's just there on Monday Night Raw.
he's an attention whore. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
And he even has to say, I know, I'm supposed to be on SmackDown. That's the first thing he said when he came out.
Yeah, they're laughing in your face. We sat through all that draft nonsense. They set up the little fucking draft podium, and AJ Styles just waltzes into SmackDown. He's not the
That
only one.
me being a geek and writing down all the draft picks, which that paper's not no longer with me, so I couldn't even tell you where. Like I threw it away after that. So,
Oh, that's good.
but yeah, to move on with the show though, because I don't know, we got derailed there.
Yeah, we did.
So we have Indo Share. This is
Indus
Veer.
share
Yeah, this is Veer and
Sangha or
Sangha
Sangha.
versus local jobbers by the name of. Uh, Actually, I didn't get their names, but one of them was Big Body Javi from NXT. That's
Who? What?
there. One of the jobbers was named Big Body Javi.
Was that the one that was looked like Dollar Store Matt Hardy? God damn it.
Uh, Probably.
Okay.
I think he had silver pants, if I remember correctly.
Well, there's one that I couldn't tell if he was Asian or not.
That's probably him. So he is an actual, like he's on NXT.
Does he have long hair or short hair?
He's the one with the short hair.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. Is he Asian?
I don't know. I
Oh.
think he's Mexican.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he does show up on NXT. He hasn't shown up in a little bit, but that's the only reason I recognized him. I was like, oh, that's that one guy. I've never seen him wrestle. I've only seen him in talking segments, but I
Yeah.
recognized him when I saw him.
I just know the other guy looked like 1998 Hardy Boys.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch his name, and this match was over so fast you weren't going to catch his name. As end to share, they make short works of the local jobbers.
Yeah,
One being Big Buddy Hobby.
I fucking love Indus. I love like everything about them because like they immediately come out and they do that fucking hook arm thing and they were screaming. And then Veer, he slipped on the apron, but he didn't care. He no sold it. It was great. I love like how they just beat the fuck out of. So far, they're wrestling jobbers, so they should. They're booked like they should be right now. Um, but the people that they have been wrestling, they'll beat the shit out of the guy, and then they'll toss him into the corner and make him tag the other guy so they can beat the shit out of him too.
Yeah, you had Sangha throw the guy. He's like, tag him
Yeah,
in.
tag him.
And
No, they've done
he's
that.
like, tag
They've
him.
done that since they. I don't know if they did it in NXT or not, but
No, this is new.
yeah, they've done it in every match. I think.
Yeah, and you got the guy on the apron. It's like, no, tag him.
It was funny. Dollar Store Matt Hardy. He did this little body punch thing and Senga. he's into it and he's and then he catches his fist. He goes oh. It was this week's fight. But
I did not catch.
they are easily my favorite tag team right now until WWE fucks them up. And Jinder Mahal, Jesus Christ, he's a great little villain.
Yeah, he is playing a pretty good heel, manager ish.
Well, he's always been pretty good
So,
though.
well, truth be told, I've always been a Jinder Mahal fan. So
Yeah, I like him
I can't tell you what other people, other people don't like him, but
because he's brown.
and I think that works for him.
This sure does.
Like it work. Like you got people like the Sultan and there was this one guy and he had so much heat. Um, Hassan something. I don't know what ever happened to him, but that guy had so much heat on him just for being brown.
Well, I like that he can play that without being a stereotype because I feel like the other Middle Eastern, India's not even Middle Eastern, but other people of his persuasion that they always make him kind of play up the that kind of stuff. But Jinder can kind of he can play it in a way that's not a joke. You can kind of take him seriously.
Yeah. So it'll be good to see where they go with that.
I hope they fucking just put a rocket ship on them. Give them the belts. They're better than Sammy and Kevin Owens right now. Now, granted, they haven't wrestled anybody worth wrestling right now, but as of today, they're my favorite.
Well, it does depend on. I think it's going to depend on whether or not the crowd takes to them. Because I don't think the crowd just yet's taken to them. But again, they've just been in like 2 minute squash match or 1 minute squash matches, so it's not much for the crowd to get into so far. As they see more and more of it, then the crowd will start getting into it. But it's all going to depend on what kind of reactions they can start getting.
Well, they need to beat the shit out of people first, and then they need to get like a recognizable win. Wonder if the Viking Raiders are doing anything. Or,
Well, they got to pick a fight with them first.
yeah, that's true.
I did have. Yes, the Viking Raiders are about to be in a thing. We had Valhalla.
What thing?
Sure. Uh, seems like they're getting into some kind of a program with the Alpha Academy.
Oh God. Why?
So I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Something to do. A story.
I look forward to not paying attention to that.
Well, after that segment, we then go to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And the segment that was this. So Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they come out to the ring. They start to boast about they did it. They won. You know, whenever Roman looks at them, he will know that they lost. Even though they didn't win the title, they won because they broke the bloodline up. Everything they said that was going to happen happened, and they were wanting to celebrate the fact that the bloodline is over. As they're celebrating, out comes Imperium. Imperium come out, ladies and gentlemen. You know the rest. So they they come out with Gunther. This ultimately is going to lead to a match. Now there was a thing with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Imperium. So first, Kevin Owens, he starts going ballistic because no one was talking about Imperium. No one said their name. So why did they come out? There's an unwritten rule in wrestling that you don't come out unless someone says your name. They're breaking the unwritten rule. At one point, it got to a point where Kevin Owens called um, Giovanni Vinci Mr. Clean, and the one with the head, as they were making fun of, because they said they always hear from Gunther, or no, they always hear from Kaiser. They hear from Gunther, but they never hear from the bald guy. And it's like, why doesn't he ever talk? And he didn't talk, still, but it does. It did at that point. It did shine a light. It's like, they're not that far off. So we know Gunther is going to be something. I think Kaiser can hold his own because he's good on the mic. But Vinci, and I'm talking about when the group breaks up. He's not going to, he's just going to sink right to the bottom. It's like he's going to have a rocks tied to his ankles.
Well, right now they're both just known as Gunther Stooges. They're not booked seriously. So
Well, I'm
I think
saying because
eventually they're gonna
yeah,
have a
because
program with Owens and Zayn, but like I don't know why because they've been a joke thus far.
well, I'm saying because Kaiser can talk, he'll keep himself somewhat relevant. But Vinci, yeah,
I think they're both really good though.
yeah, they're good in the ring. We're talking about getting over,
They
getting
they're
reactions.
not really given a chance to get over. They're if you're just losing all the time.
Well, Kaiser's over
Kaiser's over
with.
because he has the greatest job in the world right now.
Well, yeah, he's over with his ladies and gentlemen. Like that's getting it. That alone is getting him over,
Well, he's not the first.
and he won't be the
Nope.
last. but it just saying he'll have something in the future. Vinci, on the other hand, unless he's good in the ring, don't take anything away from that. I'm just saying you got to have that gift of gab. It kind of reminds me of like loosely of like a Stone Cold, maybe just because of the bald head, white guy with a bald head. But you got to be able to work that microphone. You got to be able to talk them into the seats. And I don't see it yet from him.
Well, you can just get a manager.
If they want to invest in him.
Or have one of them. Have New York's own Zelina Vega talk for him. She's born in New York. Zelina Vega. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was New Jersey.
Well, one of the news something.
No, you're right. It's New York. I don't know.
I thought it was Brooklyn.
But I don't see. I mean, he's Italian. Is that the Natalia? Golly, is that the Italian thing?
Yeah, but I mean, does it really matter?
Oh, okay. But we're supposed to be getting him over here.
Yeah, Zelina Vega's pretty.
She is. I just don't see the connection between the two.
Excuse me, I said
And also,
Brooklyn. It was Queens, New York.
Oh, and also, Vega's taking this wrestling thing seriously. See, it seems that she's wrestling every week. Oh boy, when we get to SmackDown, do I have something to say?
Okay.
So, but yeah, we get Imperium. They came out. As they're talking with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, all of a sudden we get a long shoosh. That would be now the Alpha Academy is coming out, and Chad Gable is doing the shush thing to Imperium, and apparently they have a match coming up, so that's why he's out there. So they're setting up that match. Kevin Owens asks Chad Gable to do the thing, say the thing that always makes him laugh, and then he does, thank you. So, so he did that. Goes to a match. Surprise, surprise. Imperium actually wins this match.
Oh, well,
so they've won a match. As you said, it looks like they are building towards a program. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Imperium for the tag team titles, because that just seems like they're hovering around that. And also of note in this match, Maxine Dupree, who is just full on Alpha Academy now. Like, there's no more Maximum Male models, apparently. She's even wearing, like, the shoosh shirt.
So Chad Gable won.
Pretty much. She's just, essentially, she's their manager now.
Yeah, so, because Otis was supposed to go to Maximum Male Models, and they were supposed to break up.
Yeah.
But Chad Gable is such a Chad. He caused he caused the bitch to switch teams, and nobody cares about the other guys.
Yeah, they won't even be on TV.
They will to lose.
So yeah, she's out there. She gets chased off by Valhalla. So that's what I was alluding to. Alpha Academy seems, based off of that, Alpha Academy seems to be getting into a thing with the Viking Raiders.
Oh boy. It'd be great if the Viking Raiders came out and just smacked Valhalla. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. No.
Please, no more losses.
But the gods are making me, it's telling me that they're next. No, stop it. Look at yourself.
Yeah, I can't. The gods, yeah, just ridiculous. But I guess we know who's going to win that match if it does happen.
Right.
So there's at least that. Next up, we get what was supposed to be a match between Dolph Ziggler and JD McDonough. This match didn't even go. It really didn't even, go as a match. They start the match. They JD McDonough, he's beating up Dolph Ziggler. He's on the outside and he ignores the count as he continues to beat Dolph Ziggler against the stairs, and then um, that's pretty much how that segment goes. So
Didn't you do that last week?
yes,
Okay.
but he did it again this week.
Okay.
But this was in their one-on-one match. So officially, it was a double countout, but it was him proving a point to Dolph Ziggler. What point is he proving? I don't know, because he started this whole thing. Like, why is he proving a point to Dolph Ziggler when he started the fight?
Yeah, I've noticed that the feuds, how they engage in them, are really awful. You got Karrion Cross with his little cards. I'm gonna TikTok gonna lose to this person. You got Valhalla picking fights for people to beat up their Viking Raiders. Now this, yeah.
This is different.
How?
This was him beating down to, because he just cares about inflicting pain. He doesn't care about the match.
Okay. Until he loses.
Yeah, but this was technically a double count out, so he didn't lose.
Yeah, but then is he gonna? He's gonna have to have a match with Dolph Ziggler to have a definitive winner or loser.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wins. This is his first feud.
You would think so, but I mean, there is a chance that Dolph Ziggler wins.
There is, but I don't think he does.
Okay.
Not now.
I'm just saying. He attacks Dolph Ziggler, lays him out, and then they have a
Well, I mean,
match.
just think about it. Who are they pushing out of this? They're not pushing Dolph Ziggler,
They could.
but they're not. They've had their opportunity to push him.
And what, they're gonna push McDougal?
They're gonna try.
Or push old McDonald? I don't think
He
so.
just debuted last week. They're gonna try it for a little bit. It's just, he goes right into the whole into share thing.
McRib is not going to be a fucking factor in anything other than like maybe like upper mid card.
Well, you
Maybe.
don't know that yet.
I do.
He might be 7-time world champion over. He might be the one to take down Roman Reigns. You never know.
McLovin is not gonna fucking no.
There. That's my prediction right there. But Dougal Face is going to take down Roman Reigns. He's going to be the one to beat Roman Reigns and end the whole tribal chief thing. McLovin, he's going to do
No.
it. But yeah, so we get a double count. We get a double count out here, so I guess we're gonna continue this whole feud. We'll see if he wins. Now, all jokes aside, it is his first feud since being moved up to NXT, so I do think he'll win this feud out.
It makes sense. Because why would you bring somebody up to I just don't the way this built, it would make sense. Like if Dolph Ziggler maybe got the upper hand, McDougal he attacks Dolph Ziggler, and then like during the match, McDougal goes at it. You know, he goes too far, so you know it's the double count out. But then Dolph Ziggler is the one that leaves McDougal laying, or McDougal has to leave or something. But he laid him out, didn't he?
He laid out Dolph Ziggler, yes, with his
So
steps.
that's twice. And McDougal is a heel. So in you know wrestling booking, the baby face would get his retribution.
I don't think this is that kind of story. I know what you're saying, but I don't think this is that kind of story. I don't even think it goes past another week. And if it does, it's just because they're lazy.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think they have one more match. He gets his, or they have, an official match. He gets his win, and then it's like, I don't know. This is just their way to try to get some kind of heat on him, so that the crowd can react to him.
Yeah, but nobody gives a shit about Ziggler.
That's the one problem. The other
Didn't it?
problem is no one gives a shit about McDougal.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Did anybody care about him in NXT?
I don't know. I may be biased because I don't care about him. Like he just, I don't. It's just something about him. He just doesn't do it for me.
He's really he's small for one.
His head's big.
His head is big.
His shoulders are narrow.
His shoulders are narrow.
Here we go.
but not like in the tough guy way. Because Chris Benoit kind of looked awkward too, but he was also jacked.
He was jacked.
McDougal just looks like a guy, and he's small.
He looks
And I
like one of
just
the guys that has the extremely hot girlfriend but he's just like delegated to carrying the bag.
yeah, or he's the guy that sits in the corner while Daquan shows Jessica what it's like.
Yeah, but he's in the game because he's got her for
Yeah,
what it's worth. For
yeah.
him to be humiliated every week.
Jokes on us. She gets to use his credit card while he is at work.
Yeah, and she calls him at work to give him more money. Oh, he's gonna take me to the movies and then blow my back out.
Yeah.
You know, I need it on Wednesdays.
What's this $5,000 charge? Well, I told you Daquan needed a new Rolex.
He needed he needed a new watch for the Source Award. Golly, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
He was gonna go make his rap video, and he needs his new he needs a new bling for the video. By the way, if you made it this far and you've gotten any kind of value of funniness or anything, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're just getting started. We lost the one viewer that we did have. But that's
Oh,
okay.
that was probably me.
No, there was 3.
Oh,
We did have someone watching, but that's okay. We keep going.
whatever.
You can watch it on the replay. And if you are watching on the replay, let us know by using the team replay in the comments. Hashtag team replay in the comments.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
What is that?
I don't know. Me trying to bring attention to myself by making noises.
There you go.
But now that the attention's on me, I don't know where to go. Don't know where to go with it.
We go to
So
Cody
back
Rhodes.
to
That's where we go. Cody Rhodes. He is up next to have his O, and he goes out to the ring. First of all, he gets 3 pyros, and he goes out the ring to do a little talking segment, and he says that Brock Lesnar couldn't make him tap out. He says, yes, he could have tapped out. This is ridiculous. But he says, yes, he could have tapped out, but that's not the man he wants to be. He wants to prove that he's not a person that tapped out. Like, what are you talking about?
and then he says, "Brock, dude, are you satisfied? The way I see it, each of us have a victory over each other. So let's winner takes all. Let's do it one more time. So consider this an open challenge."
Yeah, and he said something weird. He said, anytime I'm in this ring, I'm ready. I'm ready to fight you.
Oh boy.
So that foreshadows maybe. I'm thinking. I'm thinking what's going to happen is Cody Rhodes is going to have a Money in the Bank qualifier, and that's where we see Brock Lesnar rear his head, and then that's where we get the build towards Cody versus Brock 3. Now, of note, since we are here, we might as well say, or I might as well say, that there are some rumblings on the internet that we may be getting at SummerSlam Brock versus Seth Rollins for the heavyweight championship.
Oh boy.
That is being rumored. So if that does turn to fruition, obviously we won't be getting Cody Rhodes versus Brock at SummerSlam. So it's no, I'm sorry, I take that back. We're supposed to be getting Brock versus Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, and then
Really?
SummerSlam. Yeah,
Oh.
which
What?
which then also brings another interesting thing.
Did it come from Boozer?
I don't remember who this one came from.
I don't know about that one.
It didn't sound like a Boozer story though, because it's
Yeah,
it's just so far out there.
they've done so well with the Cody thing that the Cody and Brock, I just don't see them just fucking up that bad. Well, they did with Roman and Cody, but I don't know. I just don't see them dropping the ball that bad. That's a complete 180.
Yeah, and we still got to get especially with what Cody said. There's obviously got to be the closing of the story.
Right. So I can see Brock moving on to Seth Rollins after his match with Cody. And that match should be like a cage match or a strap match or something. Notice how you build to that instead of just start with something like that, carrying cross.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yes, they're progressing the story towards it's. I was thinking that maybe they're gonna do like a I quit match because how Cody was very definitively saying I didn't give up. You couldn't make me give up. So I thought they were going to go, they may be going that way, but yeah, it could also be a last man standing. But obviously, it's going to be something like definitive.
I couldn't get past the fact that like he said I didn't tap out because that's not the man I want to be. But we saw him for a good chunk of time screaming like a little bitch. Is that the man he would rather be than a
Well,
guy than a guy that just does a little man tap? You go, all right, got me.
a man that knows when he's defeated, that's not the man you want. You want to
Yeah,
ignore the signs that you've been defeated. You want to get yourself killed because you don't know when to quit.
like especially
Even in war, they quit.
especially if you're just gonna pass out. You fell asleep. And I think a big like we're kind of getting into the territory where it's bad because Cody's carrying this feud by himself. Aside from the few attacks that Lesnar had, and then that time he tipped his cap to him on the entranceway, um, they really haven't had that much interaction,
Yeah, we haven't really gotten much from Brock other than the beatdowns.
and we usually never do because he's an ass.
But yes, it was worth noting that Brock is internally at least being discussed for a challenger at Money in the Bank. Uh, Now, also interested in having a piece of Brock at Money in the Bank is one Gunther. He did an interview, and I'm sorry, I don't have the exact source of where he did the interview. I forgot to write it down. I get a lot of news, so I forgot where I actually saw this at. But during his interview, he said that he wanted to have Brock Lesnar in London. So he didn't technically say Money in the Bank. That's just the next time they're in London. Don't know the next time they'll be back. So obviously, Money in the Bank would be the nearest for that.
He really wants a Lesnar match. That's
Yes.
his. I think that's like most wrestlers. They want the heavyweight belt, but I think his goal right now is a Lesnar match.
Yeah, and he said during another interview, he said, so you could, like, you would consider me a final boss, and I consider Lesnar a final boss to the final boss. So yeah, so his tent pole is Lesnar.
Yeah, basically ever since that Rumble moment they had, he's been like, yeah, I want Lesnar. Oh, Lesnar would be great. Obviously, Lesnar. Sure, Lesnar. Oh, Lesnar.
Yeah, and it was teased at WrestleMania, but apparently they didn't think he was ready at WrestleMania. So we'll see. I don't think, I honestly don't think that it happens at Money in the Bank either.
Obviously.
But you can still now. Don't get me wrong. You can still build a story between Brock and Cody without having them wrestle at Money in the Bank. You just have one have a match, the other one run in or something, cost them the match or interrupt the match, and then it's like, okay, I can't move on until I get rid of you. Or and then they have their big blow off match. But as a outside of that, I initially back said that Cody was going to take this title at SummerSlam, or um, you may be able to stretch it to WrestleMania, but I thought first opportunity would be SummerSlam. So we're at SummerSlam almost. So if you are going to do that, then you got to get through this Brock feud. So then it has to end at Money in the Bank.
Yep.
If it doesn't, just imagine if this doesn't end at Money in the Bank, then the only other time for Cody to get this next shot at Roman will be WrestleMania. So this is going to tell you where WWE goes.
Well, I think that's where they're going anyway.
You think definitively they're going to stretch this out to WrestleMania?
Cody and Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay
Unless
with it.
yeah, well, we'll get to Mr. Roman during the SmackDown segment.
Um. So yeah, that was that. I don't even know where we. I say that because I don't know where we're. Oh, we were with Cody. So yeah, that was the Cody segment. Um. After that, we have a match which is Bronson Reed versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the third and final O of the night.
Gotta get them all in.
Yep. This match surprised me because I was for sure that Bronson Reed was going to win this, and he didn't. Shinsuke Nakamura won it.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I mean, I wasn't surprised because, since Shinsuke came back, he has been kind of on a winning streak, but at the same time, I don't know why you would sacrifice Bert's son, to to that win streak.
Yeah. Now the only thing I can think is they don't want him.
Climbing the ladder. It's a liability.
No, I'm more so saying they don't want him in like another high profile loss. I don't know. But then he loses one on one. So I don't know what they're
I,
doing with that. Or maybe they just thought with, the likes of Ricochet being in the match and I don't know who else qualified. Well, Shinsuke qualified. So I guess they're building it, you know, they thought that was a better fit, which obviously then they it means they didn't watch Bronson Reed in NXT because he was like right there with everybody in ladder matches.
who did he wrestle? He wrestled somebody.
When
If not last Raw, the Raw before that.
um
Oh, maybe it was Shinsuke.
yeah, he just wrestled Shinsuke.
Okay. I thought he kept up just fine.
Yeah, he can keep up with them. So it was
And I think
confusing to me that Shinsuke won, but they're trying to push him.
and I think Ricochet knows how to get it, how to have. I think Ricochet knows how to have a good big man versus little man match because that's all. He's like the little Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be a good candidate to get tsunami'd. I like how he gets squashed during the tsunami.
I wouldn't mind seeing like New York's own Zelina Vega.
Getting squashed by the tsunami?
Yep,
Ooh
with a
wee.
chair and steel steps, like the like the corner of the steel steps on just under her chin, and kind of standing up, and then he just
Golly. You don't like her.
she's a phony.
But yes, to each their own on that. Um We move in then to the main event. The main event was. Oh, wait. Go back a second. Hold up a second. Before this, or right after this match, we had this weird, or we had this segment with Gunther. And I
Yeah.
want to note this because it looks like we're getting a roadmap to his next opponent. Gunther, he confronts Matt Riddle. Yes, Matt Riddle. And he tells Riddle that he hopes he wins.
I want you to know.
Yes.
I've I want you to win the Money in the Bank match. Or no, he congratulated him, and then he said, "I want you to win the Money in the Bank match, and then I want you to cash it in on me and try to take my title." Which
So
is
I can
another.
embarrass you because embarrassing you is fun for me. Like, what are you talking about? Just another one of those Guntherisms.
Here's the funny thing: it would come true. Unfortunately, Matt Riddle would be wasted with Gunther, or Gunther would be wasted with Matt Riddle.
Well, you're not going to see Gunther painting his nails. I can tell you that.
Well, of course not. Gunther's a man.
That is true. But it was worth pointing out because it seems like that is where we're going next with the Intercontinental title. Riddle's going to be your next challenger.
It still
Um,
boggles my mind that he's out for 6 months due to a failed drug test, and to my knowledge, it's not his first one. And then he immediately comes back as in not only a main event spot in a pay per view. Now he's potentially in contention for Gunther's title, undefeated Gunther's title. It's kind of crazy.
yeah, it's like he's gotten rewarded.
And I would understand if it was somebody like on a Shawn Michaels level, but Riddle's not that great.
He can be. He just has to. I don't know. When he went to the main roster, they kind of changed him a little bit to what he is now.
Yeah.
So, and I know, I already hear the people, the no ones who's listening. Oh, it's Vince McMahon, but I don't know. There's also it didn't matter if it's Vince or if it's Triple H. There's also proof that you have to, excuse me, you have to change from what you did in NXT a little bit to be able to get over on the main roster. You can't just keep doing the same thing because I don't know. It just now there are certain gimmicks that'll translate, but for the most part, you got to tweak it a little bit when you get to the main roster to be able to get like to the next level.
No arguments there.
I don't know where I was really going with that. Oh, Riddle, because Riddle changed, so they tweaked him, and now that's why we get what we get,
Oh.
for the better or worse. Some people like it. Some people, adults, hate it. But that's where we are with Riddle, and all that to say, he's getting a. It seems he's getting his Intercontinental title shot, where he won't win, and that will be that.
Yes.
And
Another one that's going to get chopped into oblivion.
yes, maybe he'll get chopped to NXT as well. And then we go to our main event of Monday Night Raw, Judgment Day versus Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, SmackDown AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw, by the way. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't watch this match, but I can tell you who won without even watching the match. I can tell you that AJ Styles and Seth Rollins won. Am I solo? And I'll keep going. So, um,
Oh, my bad. Uh, I skipped it as well, but you are correct. AJ Styles and Seth Rollins did win, and I thought that they would have like some sort of. I thought they'd continue or build some sort of program, but no. AJ Styles just came to be in a tag match because the brand split doesn't mean anything.
the brand split doesn't mean anything. And as the title says, the World Heavyweight Championship is off to a boring start because we just get a can they coexist tag match right off the bat.
Right.
Now, on Monday, they did announce that Damian Priest will be the first challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship, as there's going to be an open challenge, or there was an open challenge from Seth Rollins, and he accepted. So, there you go.
I saw that. Mm. See how I feel about that come next week whenever I watch it.
Well, it does have my interest, not as far as the match goes, because obviously Seth's not going to lose his first title defense.
Of course.
Um, but it's going to. I'm kind of interested in seeing like where they are going with the title. Like, is it going to get like because they're supposed to be building this the workhorse title, the Intercontinental title. So, so I'm interested to see like, are they just going to let them go, or is it still going to be a WWE type match? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this going to be a banger bomb match, or is this going to be the banger title? But that will be interesting to see, and it will be coming up this Monday. We also have some more qualifying matches for Money in the Bank coming up, and
I
this
just
time
wish
for the women.
there was something like I don't know, Damian Priest right off the bat. There's just a shortage of people that I find compelling enough to want to watch, especially on Raw.
Well, I will say, for what it's worth, this is the secondary title. You want to call it all the things you want to call it. You look through all that, you still have Damian Priest competing for a major men's heavyweight title. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not the mid card title, the main title. B title, yes, but still he's still getting a title match for the face of a brand. So it's still a big deal for that purpose. Even though he'll lose.
I guess if you're a Priest fan,
Well, I just think I don't know. It's kind of solidifying him as a main eventer.
but he's already been in the main event scene.
Not really. Like one-on-one match in the main event scene, not really yet.
Oh, well, I was talking about Judgment Day as a whole.
Oh, well, I'm saying, yeah, him. He had to go and do the thing for Bad Bunny, and now it seems that he is being rewarded. And now you hope that he's going to be main eventing.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. He lost to Bad Bunny. Why is he even remotely? Why does he get to look at the title?
Because they're rewarding him for that.
Rewarding him for losing to a musician?
Yes.
You know how dumb that is, right?
Well, Bad Bunny is, you know, he's a thing. I'm past it. I never cared about it.
Okay, puppy dogs are a thing too. What is your point?
I'm saying, of course, he was going to lose to the celebrity.
You're kidding me, right?
Yeah, you don't go and beat the celebrity in their hometown.
You're
Like someone was going to have to get that spot. His job was to make that match as memorable for the crowd and to put Bad Bunny in, or to make Bad Bunny look like, you know, a superstar or whatever. And he did
okay.
both of those things.
Okay, fine. Somebody had to be in that spot. Fine. Somebody had to lose to the musician that doesn't have any wrestling training. Fine. The person that lost to the musician that doesn't have any wrestling training has no business being in the same ring as the title holder.
Well, he is. He's not going to win it, but
Like, just if you think about it on caliber, just logically, the guy that has the heavyweight belt, he's the best of the best. And then you have a guy that can't even beat a rapper, a bad rapper.
you know, about that whole thing.
Yeah.
I heard one of the Bad Bunny's songs,
So did I.
and I didn't understand damn what they said because it wasn't in English. And even I was singing along towards the end there.
Oh, I thought it was awful.
Which one did you hear?
Blah 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 blah.
I did the one where his interesting to at Backlash. That's the one I did,
Oh,
and it was
well,
pretty catchy. I couldn't tell you the name of it now, but
I just know it was awful.
I don't know. I liked it.
Well,
But
that's
again,
cool. That's fine if you like it.
we clearly heard different songs. I mean, the bass is hitting, and you got the a wibble, and then you got, and on the video, you got the women, and then, I don't know what I'm saying. I was trying to think there, and it didn't land.
What song you said? The backlash song.
Yeah, if you watch the music video,
I just know it was awful.
or maybe, yeah, I don't remember the name of the song. But anyway, I was just saying, I was listening to the song. I started to come around on it. So, and it wasn't even in English, and I was singing along to it. So that tells you what was happening. But let's move over to Friday Night SmackDown.
All right.
So we open SmackDown with a video package. It is narrated by Paul Heyman, and it is going over Roman Reigns' title reign. Uh, Nicely done package. It's like showing his 1,000-day reign, and then it's like a timeline of all the champions and their days of reign as Roman Reigns is passing them up. Even Daniel Bryan, even CM Punk. And of course, you know, you had, I'm sure, I didn't look, but I'm sure there were some geeks in the community that had their clickbait titles ready as soon as CM Punk showed up on the screen. CM Punk appears in WWE. Confirmed. Yeah, something like that.
I didn't see
Sure.
anything like that.
You didn't see the package?
No, no. Well, no, I didn't see the package, but Well, I saw snippets of the package because I was curious about something, but we'll get to that later. Um, the CM Punk thing, I didn't see like what you were saying, the thumbnails and the clickbait. I
Uh,
think people, I think people are kind of over CM Punk.
well, I was just saying,
I know what
the
you're saying. I
those
just,
companies they
I
get
I'm
the
confirming, I'm confirming what you're saying.
yeah
Anyway,
they get the
good. Keep going.
clickbait. But yeah, CM Punk was there, Daniel Bryan was there, so those are noteworthy things. And then the other thing I noticed as they were doing this, now Roman Reigns is the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's the title. That's what he is. As they were going through this timeline, they were talking about the WWE lineage. So my question is, have they infused the Universal Championship and the Undisputed Championship, all this into the lineage of the WWE Championship? Because they were showing WWE champions and their lengthy reigns as Reigns was passing it. So the timeline was
Well,
not
now they've combined I was hoping we wait until the actual reveal, but they've as soon as they have one belt, that's a combined lineage. Prior to that, it was two separate belts with their own lineage. So the the black one, the that was the WWE title. So that was the one that Hulk Hogan had, and that was the one that Andre the Giant had.
right.
The Universal title, that was the one that Ric Flair had. No, no, no. You said that they did away with that.
No, the one Ric Flair had is the one on Monday Night Raw.
Well, no, that's a new belt altogether. That doesn't have the same lineage.
No, it has they confirmed it has the World Heavyweight Championship lineage.
No, no, it doesn't. I
They
don't care.
confirmed
I don't care what they said. I don't care what they said.
they even confirmed it as much to say that the last time that title was defended was in 2013,
Oh
and
my god.
that created a whole controversy. It's like that wasn't even the last defense. John Cena had the last defense, and it's like no, it was Batista. And so yeah, it created a whole nother conversation about when the last defense was. But yes, they confirmed that the this title that Seth has is in the same lineage as Big Gold.
Well, it's not.
Okay.
But to answer your question, the lineage becomes one, or they share it. I guess it would be when the title merges. So as soon as he gets that that gold belt,
The timeline is one.
uh
All right.
huh.
So that answers that. Um, like I said, it was a nice little video package. It celebrated Roman Reigns' 1,000 days, and it shows that um, Paul Heyman is great at narrations.
Yeah, he's great. He's great at everything.
Yeah. And then right after that,
Except
we cut
athletic stuff.
to, well, look at him.
True.
Right after that, we cut to, I mean, one more. He really does enjoy that island of relevancy. And, Roman caters. He leaves nothing behind when he caters.
Nope.
It spares no expense. You hear him always tell the Usos, we got mahi mahi, we got
Sushi.
all the, yeah. And you can see that Heyman enjoys all of it as well. And if I was in the bloodline, I would be enjoying it too. But from that, we immediately go to the ring, and we are talking about Austin Theory. He is holding a mic and he says, "Welcome to Austin Theory Live." And it's a celebration for your tribal chief. And then he goes on and on about one day we'll be celebrating my 1,000-day reign, or maybe it'll be 2,000 days, or maybe it'll be 3,000 days, or maybe it'll be 4,000 days. And he says, and you can't boo me because I'm the youngest United States champion. I'm only 25 years old. So yeah, that's Austin Theory. And then he introduces his tag team partners for the evening, which is Pretty Deadly.
Yeah. And as soon as I saw the nipple shirts, I started fast forwarding.
Well, Pretty Deadly, they are coming out to new theme music. It is so apparently, or no, according to the internet, it sounds like an ABBA song. I don't know who ABBA is.
They're a Swedish
So
band.
well, there you go. So it sounds like that. And wait, band. So it's more than one person.
Yeah. Have you, Mamma Mia, here I go again. My,
Oh,
how?
that's ABBA.
Yeah.
That's one person though. Anyway,
No, it's not.
I'm not
It's a
gonna.
band.
I'm not gonna get involved in that semantics. Is ABBA the dancing queen?
Yeah.
That's one per. Anyway,
It's not one person.
we'll let that go. Okay, it's more than one person.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, it sounds apparently according to the internet, it sounds like someone from ABBA singing the song.
Agathing Finstone,
Or wait,
Bjorn Uterus, Benny Anderson, Annie Friedlingslangen. They're Swedish. There's
well, it
four.
makes sense.
There's four people. Don't fuck with me on ABBA.
All I'm saying,
I know an uncomfortable amount of ABBA.
well, I'm just saying, it sounds like it's one person.
It's not.
But yes, I am saying, I'm letting it go. We will refer to ABBA as more than one person, even though that's a solo name.
I mean,
We will say that ABBA is more than one person, and the song that their new
you know
theme
why
song.
they're called ABBA is because it's their initials.
Yeah, I got that when you just said it,
So
but it should be ABBA's with a S.
no. Okay. Move on. Just move on. Just move on. Because
Or it should be the ABBA's
or
with an S.
just move on, or
Anyway,
we're just gonna keep
yes.
talking about ABBA because
Okay,
I'm almost at the point where we're gonna make this a thing.
Okay, I'm moving on. Out come the Brawling Brutes. This is a triple threat match.
Oh, right.
No, not triple threat. It's a three-way tag.
Man.
6-man tag. Yeah.
A drop kick, arm wrench, took some offense, whip to the rope, dive, leapfrog, another dive, and then finger stomps. There you have it. Diverse moveset from Mouthpiece McFingerbang.
There you have it. And there was a nice spot. Speaking of McFingerbang, there was a nice spot where all three men did the 10 beats of the Baldrin.
Oh, that's not a nice spot.
And you had McFingerbang over there. They all do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then he's just like wailing on his person, and it's like, oh, look at Butch, he's so out of control. And then Wade Barrett's like, does he even know how to count? So that was funny there. And actually, Theory and Pretty Deadly win this match, which was surprising to me.
Really?
But then again, Pretty Deadly just debuted,
Yeah.
so they hit their spilled milk finisher. Needed to point that name out. I will say they are playing their character to perfection.
Maybe they're
Now, how far that's going to go
maybe they're not
with the
acting.
crowd? Well, I mean, I think they are acting. Is you got okay? Yes, I think they are acting. There's little. You can only go so deep with that cosplay, and they're not going deep enough.
I don't know. They've gone pretty deep.
Nope. Well, first of all, they don't even paint their nails, so there's that. They haven't had Matt Riddle paint their nails for them before each match. And when they start doing that, now we're getting closer.
Just wait. There's going to be a video where they have they're handing each other's back pocket or something.
Well, it seems like they're really overdoing the whole pretty deadly thing. The whole fabulous thing. They're really overdoing it. They're really pouring it on. It's like maybe they're gonna
Or maybe that's just them.
maybe they're gonna stop being pushed after the end of this month. I don't know. There, I said it. We're beating around the bush. I hadn't said it. WWE saw this opportunity to push this tag team. They're going to become champions. Watch, mark my words. Next year, they're going to be champions and they're going to have rainbow belts. And, you know, only for that 1 month, though. And then after that month, it's all going to go away. Because you got to profit off the month.
Until next year. I mean, sometime next year or
Yeah.
this time next year.
Yeah. Um, After that, we get a Night of Champions recap of what happened in case you missed it. And then we have Heyman. He's backstage talking to Solo, and he's saying about how special this night is and how the Usos weren't going to be able to be there. And he needed to talk to Adam Pierce. He talks to Adam Pierce. Adam Pierce agrees. Says he has security beefed up for this. So the Usos will not be there tonight. Yeah, right. After that, we go to a squash match. It is the OC versus the Hit Row. Apparently, this match was built off of a diss track that Hit Row put out on social media, which I did not hear. I did see that it was there, but I did not bother to listen to it.
I did see AJ try to act young and hip, and it's weird seeing like these people on Raw pretend to be in a gang.
Well, yeah. So yeah, this match didn't go long at all. OC wins. AJ Styles afterwards hits a phenomenal forearm on Top Dollar, and he elbows him back to the unemployment line. Probably not exactly yet, but it's coming soon.
Was there any significance with him putting his hood on before he hit Top Dollar with a phenomenal forearm?
No, and honestly, I didn't even pay that close attention.
I did.
Like usually, he takes the hood off, so I don't know.
No,
Maybe because Hit Rows, they've been wearing the hoods over their heads for some reason. Well, not for some reason. It's just like they've been doing that, and maybe he was mocking that. I don't know.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller, so his guest is Oscar, but it turns out to be pretty much everybody in the women's division. So you have Oscar out there, and she never speaks a word of English. So Grayson Waller is pretty much asking her questions. She'll speak Japanese, and then he'll pretend like he knows what she's saying. And a little bit into this interview, Io Sky's music hits, and she comes out and she starts to tease that she is going to beat Oscar, or no, she's going to win Money in the Bank and beat Oscar. I believe that's what she said because she also only spoke in Japanese.
Yeah, she screamed in Japanese immediately, and it was great.
Yes.
So then we had Io Sky and Asuka arguing in Japanese, and it's, I don't know, it's just very cathartic. And I wish
Yes,
that
and as soon as the music hit, I was like, "Oh shit, it's happening!" The moment our community has been clamoring for our highest video by far and away, and our it was coming to our screens right in front of us.
yeah, I just wish they pulled the trigger. Although now I kind of wish they would do it at like WrestleMania or something. But they're probably holding out for
Um,
Charlotte or something.
I mean, for selfish reasons, I hope they keep teasing it only, and then keep pushing it back so we can keep getting views. don't don't shoot your wad yet. We still got some more views to get out of it.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be like Manny or Pacquiao and Mayweather, where when it finally happens, it's just like, eh.
Well, I mean, people still showed up.
Yeah, but it didn't have the same buzz. Because didn't it get scheduled and then canceled like at the last minute a couple times?
Oh yeah, they they were having some kind of fight about the ounces of gloves they were gonna use and shit.
Yeah, so
Like what are we talking about here? Gloves?
I just remember that there was a lot of excitement for the fights that got canceled, and then years later, and this was after I think Pacquiao was undefeated at the time, so when he lost, the excitement for the Mayweather fight kind of took a ding.
Yeah, he lost to Kato or whatever his name
I
was
think he lost a couple fights, but
out of nowhere. Yeah, he was undefeated, and we officially got the announcement that he was going to do the Mayweather fight, and then yeah, he goes and loses to that dude. I was like, what? But yeah, they were arguing over glove ounces. Uh, the biggest thing was like the money split too.
yeah,
Like Mayweather, he wanted more money, so they kept fighting, going back and forth over that. He wanted, you know, oh, obviously you would just split it 50-50. But no, it's Floyd Mayweather. He's bringing in more attention to this. So it should at least be 60-40. And that's what they were fighting over for the longest time. Like, I'm Money Mayweather. You coming on my show? I'm boxing you. I'm getting most of the cut. Canelo, that was his name. Canelo. I said Cato, but it was Canelo. Anyway, um, so yeah, Asuka, Io, they have their Japanese back and forth, so couldn't tell you what they said. The rest of the women's division would come out. That's on SmackDown. Each of them saying that they're going to beat Asuka One of which came out was Zelina Vega.
New York's own Selena Vega.
Yes.
Well, this was after
And Zelina Vega.
this was
Mhm.
after Lacey Evans came out. Lacey Evans has a new little gimmick again, where she looks like Sergeant Slaughter, sort of.
Well, she kind of already had that gimmick.
Did she
The
with the
new
hat and
thing is that
everything?
hat. No, the hat is new.
Yeah, the hat's
Everything
key.
else is like the.
That's 100. That's 100% Sergeant Slaughter. Like without that, she's just some army person or marine person. But with the hat, puts it over the edge.
Well, I didn't even get Sergeant Slaughter with the hat
I,
because his hat was like smaller. I got what they,
what
it does make sense what they were going for, but
his head's
he didn't have
also
a cobra
bigger.
on his hat.
That was yeah, that's the drawback. They had to fucking kill it because not only is it a cobra, but it's a sparkly cobra. And it's the type of sparkly cobra where she has to keep her head still because it looks like it would be one of those things that would just fall off because it's not completely secure. I don't understand why they can't just like fucking have her have the hat on. Why does she need the little sparkly cobra? Why do they need to fucking braid all their hair?
Why they had to go feminize it?
It's not even that. It's just it's all the same.
Yeah, so she did come out with the new look, new hat. Um, Zelina Vega, when she comes. Well, Lacey Evans said that she needed to hit these nasties with the Cobra Clutch, and then she was going to win Money in the Bank. Zelina Vega, she comes out last, and she says, "The all of these women are underestimating me, just like Rhea Ripley underestimated me at Backlash."
Okay.
And it was the funny, like I busted out laughing because I immediately was like, "She beat you. What do you mean she underestimated you?" Like, and then she said, "Because I almost had her." That's what she said.
If
She underestimated me because I almost had
she had
her.
5 more minutes.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about she underestimated you. She beat you. What's there to underestimate? But I guess it does. It does kind of make sense. Like, I don't know, if you have like a team that you expect to blow out and then they play you close, you underestimated them. But it just sounded ridiculous that she's like, Rhea Ripley underestimated me,
Uh,
and I almost had her.
Marcus, Flower Mound Marcus.
Yeah,
They were supposed to be little pushovers,
yeah, and they
and
weren't.
they were undefeated against us.
But it was just it was the ridiculous thing. But then we get into a match: Zelina Vega versus Rhea Ripley. No, what? Zelina Vega versus Lacey Evans. Winner is the first qualifier or one of the first qualifiers for Money in the Bank. And this goes to Zelina Vega off of a code red.
And they ruined Lacey Evans.
Well, I will say, all in all, I didn't hate this segment. This whole women's segment thing. I didn't hate it. Number one, you had the whole division saying, uh, or one, you had Io and Asuka's face off. So that was a good thing. And then you had all these women talking about how they were going to win. Asuka, she had, I skipped over all this, but Asuka, she had made it up to the ramp. She tells them, "None of you are ready for Asuka." So that she did say in English. Bianca Belair attacks Asuka, and I even like that because it wasn't like skipping out, swing your hair, Bianca Belair. This was like, I'm fucking mad, Bianca Belair. She went right up to Asuka. No
You
fluff. She
trying
didn't take her earrings
you
out.
trying to mist me?
Yeah, she didn't take her earrings out. I think they were already out, and it was just I'm beating your ass thing. So I like that. I liked the segment. Uh,
As soon as Bailey came out, I had no interest. Mm, I wish they pulled the trigger on the damage control thing. Like either they're not a thing anymore, or they're as strong as ever. They're a strong unit. Um, I just don't like the drought. They're clearly like building to something. I just wish they get to that something instead of just have them look at each other slyly all for all 3 hours of Raw.
well, I think where they were going with that kind of got derailed because Dakota Kai got hurt. She tore, I think she tore her ACL, I want to say.
I think so too.
But yeah, she's out for a while. So I think that kind of derailed what they were doing with that. But it'll be interesting to see who wins Money in the Bank for the women. I have my my pick, but I'm going to wait until we do our pick show.
All right.
I have both of my
I'm
picks.
sure we'll be just super surprised when you do your reveal.
if you've listened, if you listen to the show, you won't be
Well,
surprised.
so far it's really down to two. It's either Riddle or Knight.
Right.
So
But it depends on, yeah, who they actually put in the match. That's going to
right,
determine, right?
exactly.
Because if Cody gets in the match somehow, then you know he's winning it.
Maybe.
Maybe he wins it. But that could also be the, because he did say anytime I'm in the ring, Brock, it's an open challenge. So he just invited Brock to interfere in one of his matches, and that could be the one. Um, post post that match, we had a little pep talk from Escobar and Zelina Vega. I saw that they were talking. I didn't hear what they were talking about, nor did I really care. But I know they were saying that, she's gonna win Money in the Bank. Maybe they put it on her because they seem to be. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say here. They're kissing up to her,
Escobar's another one they
sucking her
ruined.
tit. Is that what they're doing?
What's that?
Sucking the teat.
Yeah.
Is that the equivalent to sucking her dick? Sucking the teat.
They're just giving her a an AF push.
Yeah. But what were we saying about Escobar?
That's another one they ruined. Like when I first, my first introduction was Escobar was when he was like this royalty and he had the mask and it almost looked like people were carrying him to the ring and he had that lucha history. Now he's just another cholo. He's got the fucking little cabana shirt on with the sunglasses and just yeah. With the LWO, LWO is the worst thing that ever happened to him.
Yes. The LWO didn't seem to be taking off. Oh, by the way, going back to Monday Night Raw, I forgot to mention uh, Finn Balor. He said on Monday Night Raw that since the bloodline is broken up, the Judgment Day is now the most dominant faction in WWE.
He did say that.
Um, that's worth mentioning because we got the LWO on SmackDown, so it still seems to be pushing that they're kind of gonna meet up at War Games.
Judgment Day and the Bloodline.
No, Judgment Day and LWO. They're gonna meet at the War Games.
Ugh.
Seems to be that's the only thing they can really do there,
Ugh.
unless they do another Bloodline War Games.
No, it'd just be. Well, aren't they? They might bring somebody in.
Oh, new talent?
Yeah,
Yeah, they could.
they could do like the old WCW thing where they didn't know if Sting was going to show up or not, and basically it was Luger and Macho Man and somebody else. I can't remember if it was Hulk or not. But Sting was supposed to be the last guy, but they didn't know if he was part of NWO or not, and he just kind of sat out until the very end.
I remember that what you're talking about. I remember that, but I don't remember the. I didn't get to watch that pay per view, so I didn't get to see who like was in it. But
Yeah.
yes, I do remember what you're talking about. And it was like he would like incidentally bump into someone, and then you got Zabisco's like, "See, he's NWO."
So they just do that. They have Roman and you know what? I'm going to drop this Samoa Joe thing because Samoa Joe is 1,000 times better on the mic than Samoa Joe will ever be. So we'll stick with Solo.
I don't know. He seems to be pretty good on the mic.
He's awful.
He only says what he needs to say.
He's terrible.
Like he's not gonna be like Ludwig Kaiser, but he says what he needs to say.
He's still terrible.
Okay.
But anyway, they just start with him and Roman, and the whole match, like, because that's all you need, right? You just need the Street Fighter and the Tribal Chief. So it's basically just them either you could either play it to where they run roughshod or they're just there to survive, but kind of closer to the end you get the reveal of somebody else, and that's the equalizer because again they're Samoans. They don't need four people.
But who are they opposing?
Christianity. I don't know who the fuck were they. LWO.
Oh. I don't know about that.
Or no, I guess it wouldn't be a Judgment Day.
No, that's a lot better if they do Judgment Day. But you'd have to have one of them heel and one of them babyface, which obviously Judgment Day would be the heels of that.
It's war. You don't need heels or baby faces. You just need carnage.
And they just might get it. Um, After that, we go to L.A. Knight. Yeah, he is facing Montez Ford, and this is a qualifier match for the Money in the Bank. And you can tell who the crowd was behind because everything that LA Knight did got cheered, and everything that Montez Ford did got booed. This offensive wise. So they had a moment where they would do the whole one punches, then the other punches, and they're punching each other, and the crowd's like, "Boo! Yeah! Boo! Yeah!" So the crowd is behind LA Knight.
And Ford wasn't as obnoxious as he usually is.
Yeah, he's probably a lot more serious. Um, but yeah, LA Knight wins. Post match, he climbs the ladder and he points at the Money in the Bank, and they already got the picture up. So they're showing that already. Is this your next Money in the Bank? You know
Right.
they got that. They got that going around on the socials. But yes, LA Knight wins, finally qualifies for a big match. Um, After that, we get a promos or a vignette. It is for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Um, there were words in it, but they were in they were in Latin or something, or they were in witch, we'll just say. And so I didn't get any of it.
I,
But
I do know that it showed like a whole bunch of scary things, and then it showed Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and they looked like little tavern horrors. They didn't look like scary witches. So I think it had the opposite effect for me. I'm excited to see what they do, though. I'm giving them a chance. The old college chance.
yeah, it'll be interesting there. Oh, golly, we missed the big match on Raw. Anyway, we missed the whole damn women's tag team match. And you know what? I didn't write it down because I didn't watch
Oh, I skipped it.
it.
Uh,
Boy, it's a great A show here,
Ron,
huh?
Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are the new tag team champions for the women. Yay!
Yes.
The
So,
only good thing about that match is you got to see Ronda's legs.
well, no, there's another good thing about the match. So there's a point, and this is why I didn't even bother writing the match down. Okay. So there's a point where Shotzi, she does she does a spot where she's supposed to hit, I believe it was Ronda Rousey, but she completely botches it and hits Raquel Rodriguez. So that's her partner in this whole thing. So she does the offense to Raquel Rodriguez. And it was so bad that Corey Graves on commentary said, I think I think Shotzi missed her mark, but at this point, does it even matter? He said, "Who cares?" And at that point, I said, "Yeah, this match is a disaster." So yes, it was quite the, I don't know, maybe the worst match in of the year.
They're usually pretty bad when you get them all together like that.
So that's why I didn't bother writing that down. But uh, Aladon and Alba Fire reminded me that there are new women tag team champions. Um, After that, we go to the 1,000 day celebration for Roman Reigns. We start out, we get Triple H. He comes out. He says that he compares Roman Reigns to that of Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan, someone who changes their industry. And he says that someone like that needs to be celebrated with a brand new title. So he presents Roman on his thousandth day reign with a brand new world heavyweight undisputed world heavyweight championship. I think that's the official title. And basically, it's the same belt, the belt with the big W, and
Same belt,
uh,
different
what it
colors.
yeah, from what it looked like is the plating of it is gold, and then there's blue, and I think there's just blue beads, or I'm sorry, blue jewels around it. So yeah, and then the straps are black, if I could describe it there. So it's the same belt, yes, just they reskinned it in the video game world. When you get the reskins, that's pretty much what they did with the belt.
In the corner of the internet that I was at was not happy about that. They basically said it was lazy.
It was. People were expecting that we were going to get some kind of winged eagle update.
Well, if they're gonna, I don't know, if they're gonna do something after Roman loses it, I don't have a problem. Remember when The Rock had that little version of that ugly ass version of the belt?
Oh, come on. I like the Brahma Bull belt.
No. The scratch logo. It was basically it's the title that we've had to date, but it was the scratch logo.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I remember now.
It was ugly. What'd you think?
Yeah, and I think I can get used to it. I was hoping that it was some kind of take on the winged eagle. Yeah, as I started to think about it, I think maybe this is just a title for Roman, as to celebrate his reign,
Mm-hmm.
and then once Cody takes over as champion, Cody will then make a new title, or he'll then bring back the classic WWE, or a modern version of the classic title at that point. So I think this title is just for now as a Roman Reigns only title, and then when someone else wins it, it'll be gone.
So basically, what I just said.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got there. I got there. You just had to give me a minute.
All right. So I wish they would have picked something other than the gold. I think that I thought it was wood at first. It kind of reminded me of the Daniel Bryan's custom vegan belt.
Oh, the Planets Championship. That one was great.
Yeah. And another thing is, Roman had the Universal title for over 500 days before he won the WWE title. Now, the WWE title is the one that Buddy Rogers had and Hulk Hogan had. That's the main one.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why him having the Universal title, which I don't know what fucking lineage it has at this point, why that's such a big deal. Because that's what he's had 1,000 days. He hasn't had the WWE title 1,000 days.
Well, you just said earlier that it's merged now.
Now it is, but not before that.
So yeah, now that it's merged, now that that history goes into the other history. I don't know. They're bending the rules to get it.
But it just doesn't make sense to me that you would just devalue your top prize, because the WWE title, that's their trophy, their you know, their most prestigious accolade.
Yeah, they forget about that.
They do. Because the big gold belt, that was WCW NWA, that was another promotion's title. And again, I don't know what the fucking lineage for the Universal title is or was, but I just, to me, sure, it's impressive that you've had it for 1,000 days, but to be in the same breath as Pedro Morales and Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan, that's not the same lineage.
Well, they're making it such.
Now it is, but it
It
doesn't. You
wasn't.
don't retroactively go back 1,000 days. Roman Reigns won, regardless of how the lineage being combined to, you know, on SmackDown. Roman Reigns is on record of having won the WWE title at 531 wins of having the Universal title.
So how far into the WWE title reign is he? About.
500 days. If he's at 1,000, he was at 500, and I
Oh,
had it.
yeah. I mean, we'll get that. We'll get that. Don't worry. You ain't gotta worry about that. We'll get that.
And that's fine if he gets 1,000. But he had the Universal title, a less prestigious title, for 1,000 days. For us to like, oh, it's a once in a generation and blah 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 blah. No, no. Not to mention the fact that I've said it before, he hardly ever defends it.
Well, it's still amazing to hold it for 1,000 days.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Like I said, take away how many times he's wrestled. First of all, he's a draw, so he doesn't need to wrestle every week. Hulk Hogan didn't even wrestle every week when he was the big thing.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
How
he
many?
did.
I don't. What? When he was? No, I'm talking about Yellow Hulkamania. I'm talking about Hollywood Hulk Hogan. How many times did he defend the title?
Every night.
Okay.
He would. I mean, did he? He would get into situations where the match ultimately never happened, like the guy would get jumped or something. But Hulk Hogan would be there,
Yeah, he would be on TV every week, but
and he would get physical every week too.
it was a blue moon when he would defend the title.
He didn't just sit. He hid behind goons and then attacked. He didn't just sit on his throne and was above um, doing his job. Not to
Well, even then,
not to mention, and we're not
okay,
talking about Hollywood Hogan, like back in Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales and early Hulk Hogan, like didn't have the luxury of Vince McMahon saying, "Oh, it's fake, so it doesn't matter."
well, that goes also back to they didn't have TV weekly, so there were different times
They
there.
still had magazines, they still had newspapers. It's not like everybody was in the dark ages and they couldn't get information out. It just wasn't as quick.
Well, I'm saying you
And you
didn't
had
have to
local
see.
TV, you still traded tapes.
but you weren't seeing, like when Bruno had this title for 4,000 days or whatever it was. You weren't seeing this,
Yes, you were. He was
right?
he was fucking huge.
But you didn't have him on TV every week.
You didn't have
Maybe every
Bruno
once a month you would hear
you
about
didn't have
him,
Bruno Sammartino
or
on
you
TV
know,
every week.
there was no TV every week.
Okay.
There was not TV every week, so you couldn't have him on TV every week. The weekly show didn't start until
Raw
a
didn't
long.
Monday Night Raw is a different thing. Being on TV is a completely different thing.
What station were they on? There you go.
Kate they were on WX motherfucker. And even if they weren't on TV, there's magazines, there's local stuff. And I'm sure that there's local television.
I don't even know if there was local television back then.
Yeah, there's local television.
There was.
Trust me. There's
This was
local
back in
television. There's local television.
I'm thinking this was back in like
No, there's
80.
local fucking television. Don't I'm telling you. This is an argument. I'm telling you as a fact. As a matter of fact, there's local television. Vern Gagne had it. Um, I think not Ted Turner, the Crockett had it before, a version of it before Vince did. Vince's thing is he made it all national.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. So you're saying that they're local television.
Yes.
So if I'm in Florida and this thing is in Memphis, then I'm not seeing it.
Say that again.
I said if it is local, then that means if I'm in Florida and that thing is in Memphis, then I'm not seeing it.
Absolutely. However, if you're an avid wrestling fan, you would either hear about it or not hear about it, but you would see it either in a magazine like Famous Dave's Wrestling Observer, or again, that's where the tape trading would come into play, where people would fucking actually have like Don't you remember VHS? You'd have the fucking
I'm too young.
unlabeled VHS tapes.
I'm too young for VHS.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, that shit like that got around.
Well, I just think it was a different time.
It's not a different. It is a different time. It was a better time for one, but
Well, you weren't saying. I'm saying you weren't booking like a week to week show. You didn't have to think about, oh, what's
are you kidding me?
were there? It
Back in
might
those
just be
times,
my.
back in those times, the house shows like they had title changes on house shows. They had more to think about. They just have a Monday Night Raw and a Friday Night SmackDown, and then they have rehearsal. They still have house shows. Don't get me wrong, but that's more of like practice. That's what they do for TV. All they have to worry about is 5 hours of television and whatever pay-per-views that they do.
Well,
Back in the
from
day, the house shows were fucking just as important because everything was storyline. They couldn't just turn it off and like, oh well, this isn't on TV, so we don't have to pretend. Everything was storyline. Everything from them scratching their ass to fucking going to bed at night. It was all part of their fucking storyline. And another thing about Roman is it's not as impressive because they've been fucking shoving him down our throats since day one. So for them to say it's once in a generation, they've been fucking ever since he set foot in the WWE. They've been gearing us for this moment, and y'all fell for it. He's the same guy that said "suffer and succotash."
Oh, he's not. The tribal chief didn't say that. Maybe he did.
He said it.
Maybe he did. And he's
He's the
also
same.
said he's the
He's the same
1,000 day.
fragile. He's the same fragile motherfucker that got mad because Sammy got more. Sami Zayn got a little slightly more cheers.
When did that happen?
Elimination. Yeah, elimination chamber. That's why they. That's the whole reason why Sammy was on the outs.
Oh, now you're talking about storyline.
Yes.
You switched. Well,
that's the thing. The WWE has been shoving Roman Reigns down our throats since he started. He's been their guy. No matter how much we've resisted, they've shoved him down our throat. You know, been dead set on making him top. Whatever they've wanted this moment since they started, and instead of adapting to what the people wanted, like they say that they listen to the WWE universe, we were brainwashed into thinking that this guy just all of a sudden got good. My contention is that he is the same fucker that just that said "suffer and succotash." I don't. There's no change in his game to me. And I don't think it's that impressive for him to get 1,000 wins when the company had him pegged as the number one guy to begin with. If he would have been like a Damian Sandow and came out of nowhere and then got that 1,000 wins.
Oh, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, really?
There you go. You're back.
Oh, where did I lose you?
Or you're saying if he was Damian Sandow, you'd be more impressed?
Well, yeah, where he came out of nowhere and then had a lengthy title run, that's something. But for him to be just the golden boy, I don't know.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's the only opinion.
No,
It's the only fucking opinion. No.
I have different opinions. So,
Well, what do you think?
To each their own. I mean, I think it's impressive.
Okay.
Not, people want to talk about, oh, well, he didn't wrestle that much, yada yada yada, which I'm okay with. He's a draw, so he doesn't need to wrestle every week. So I don't care about that.
Okay.
My thing is he lasted this 1,000 days, and he never got hurt. He never got canceled.
He got cancer.
That wasn't during the 1,000-day reign.
Oh. Okay. Never mind.
See, to put it in perspective, we do this, and we haven't even lasted 1,000 consecutive days, and we only have to show up one day a week, and we haven't even lasted 1,000 days.
We're also not getting paid nearly the fraction. I mean, it'd be a whole hell of a lot easier to show up 1,000 days doing this, making Roman Reigns money.
Well, we'll circle back to that, but I'm just saying, just off of that fact, like when Peyton Manning and I think Brett Favre also did it too. They had that like long ass streak of games that they played, and they didn't miss a game.
And then Brett Favre, his streak ended and the NFC Conference Championship against the Vikings. They fucked his chin up.
Yeah, but it was
Or
it's
was
just
it?
impressive. Now that's different because obviously they were both playing hurt because you don't miss that. You don't go that many days and not be hurt.
No, of course. I'm not saying that he hasn't been. I'm not saying that it hasn't been. I don't know, challenging, but it's just not as impressive. First of all, it's not the WWE title. That's my big thing. For them to,
Mhm.
oh, he's got 1,000 days. He's along the lines of like, hold on, he's along the likes of the Hogans and the the legends, and he's not even holding the belt that they had. Now he is. He's had that for 500 days. That's okay, cool. But the universal title, having that 1,000 days is, to me, that's like, would it be as, what if he had the US title for 1,000 days? Would it be as impressive?
Uh, yeah, it would be
Okay.
like, I mean, just look over at Gunther. He's about to have the Intercontinental title for 800 something days,
But it's not
whatever
that
the Honky Tonk Man's record is.
but it's not just that he has the title, it's the way he's defended his title.
Well,
He's not like Austin Theory where it seems like he's kind of just skated by.
yeah, and they want to know how to fix Austin Theory. Well, there you go.
Right.
First of all, make him stop winning by interference or some kind of chicanery. That's a new word I heard this week. Chicanery.
But I don't know. I just think Roman's run is so full of taint. It's got more taint than a Russian whorehouse.
Well, we always knew this is where they were going with this whole thing.
We knew from day one.
So
And then we
they got
said,
it now.
no, we don't want this. We want Daniel Bryan. And you know what? They said, okay, we'll give you Daniel Bryan. And then you know what? What when Daniel Bryan gets to where we want him, we're gonna give him a fucking vegan goddamn belt and make him a joke.
You say joke. That title was
A
one of my
joke.
favorite titles.
Of course it
If
was.
if I if I weren't broke, then I would actually have one of those replicas, the Planet's Championship. I'd have one. I'd have that one. I'd have the Rocks one. I have Stone Cold's one.
You know she should have 1,000 days. Seriously, like our lifetime would have been CM Punk.
Yeah,
That's who we should be talking about. CM Punk in the same way that we're trying to talk about Roman right now, because we're not going to be fucking talking about Roman Reigns generations to come. I can't even think of yeah, there's been some entertaining moments, but I can't think of like the Andre body slam moment. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's Drew McIntyre, there's the War Games, there's Logan Paul, there's Cody.
Well, I think looking back, the only thing you're gonna remember about this reign is that it was
That
a
he had
thousand
it for
days,
a while. Yeah, it was okay.
and that's all they wanted out of it.
And it's not even the line that they're trying to put it in.
Yeah, Sure, but they had to get it there somehow.
No, it's like if he had the Intercontinental title or the US title, and then they try to say, "Oh, he's just like Hulk Hogan." No, you have the Intercontinental title. It's not as prestigious as the WWE. It's the fucking World Wrestling Federation or Entertainment or whatever it is. Your main prize is the World Wrestling Entertainment Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
Roman had the belt for 500 days, and that belt was the Universal title. Then he won the main prize, the WWE belt, from Brock Lesnar, and he's at 1,000 days. So he's had the fucking the belt, the main belt for like 400 days, almost 500 days now. So don't
So
give
yes,
him
Roman Reigns, give him another 1,000 days. Is what that's the takeaway here. Roman
fine.
Reigns needs to hold it another 500 days, 2 years.
That's fine. If that's what you want to do, but just make
No,
it.
saying that's what needs to happen. You're saying it right now. If
I
we want to get, we need to solidify this as a 1,000-day reign. So if we're only 500 days in, we need another 500 days.
Yeah,
So
fine. Or Cody
let's
can
start
just beat
the
him,
let's start
or
the train. Nope,
or
we're getting to 1,000 days.
nope. We got to get Gunther in.
We're getting to 1,000 days. Gunther is a shoe in for the World Heavyweight Championship, so that's gonna happen. We're getting to 1,000 days. Um. Oh, so to end off the segment, Roman Reigns he starts the thing about acknowledge me. He's like he says where they're at, and he's like, no, 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 that's not how we're doing it tonight. He said the whole world acknowledge me. All of a sudden, the Usos music plays. So much for the heavy security. Jimmy and Jay, they
I
walk
didn't
out
see
to
any security.
there wasn't any.
Yeah, he said I got double security, and there wasn't one
No.
guy. There
Yeah.
wasn't even like some chick with a clipboard saying no.
Yeah. There was not even officials.
Right.
So they walk out to the ring, and so for me, they go to a commercial. They come back from the commercial. They're still staring at each other. So now the segment can start. Roman Reigns, he says to Jay, punch him in the face.
No, kick him in the face.
Oh, yeah, kick him in the face. And he says, make this right. That's what he did to me. And that's what I want you to do to him. Kick him in the face. And Jay, he's sitting there. He's kind of struggling. He's like, I'm not going to do that. Well, he didn't say that. But he's just sitting there. He's conflicted on what to do.
Yeah, he's pacing back and forth. He was great this segment.
Yeah. And so you have Jimmy Uso. He says, this is my brother. I'm always going to protect him. Solo's my brother. I'm always going to protect him. You, Us, you're my brother. I'm always going to protect you. He's trying to talk Roman down. He says that we can be the bloodline, but we have to be the bloodline of respect. We have to, we can't just be tearing each other down. We're a family. It's how family's supposed to treat each other. Please, this is Jimmy talking to Roman. He's like, please, just join us. Let's do this as a real family.
Let's
We're
go
not
back to
using each other.
conquering.
Yeah. And Roman Reigns, he asked Solo Sikoa, where does he stand in this whole thing? Solo, he says,
I did it for The Rock.
yeah, Solo says, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. But
But my brothers.
those are my brothers. And he sides with his brothers, Jimmy and Jay Uso. Now they're celebrating. Roman Reigns is distraught. He doesn't know what to do. He just got destroyed. He just got betrayed by the whole bloodline. Jimmy says, "See, you're going to be on the island of relevancy by yourself because of your own actions. Now all you got to do is just join us, treat us with respect. This is not a dictatorship. This is just one whole family as a bloodline." Roman Reigns, he starts to tear up.
Well, before that, he rushes at Jimmy, and Jimmy pie faces him like Roman's been doing to them for weeks. That got a huge pop.
Oh yeah, he sure did. And yeah, Roman, he starts to tear up. He doesn't know what to do. He's now by himself. He saw his Paul Heyman, and he finally embraces Jimmy with a hug. The crowd starts to pop. They think Roman Reigns has finally, I don't know, fallen in line, even though he's still the tribal chief. I was when he did it, I was thinking, okay, he's saying yes, but obviously he's going to manipulate them some way or another. Like it is Roman Reigns, right? So, but he's hugging Jay, and the crowd celebrating. All of a sudden, Roman he pulls up the mic to his face as they're still embracing a hug, and he says, "No." And then he lets go of Jimmy. Jimmy's like, "No, yeah, Jimmy. He doesn't know what he's thinking." Jay, he's pounding the turnbuckle. Why'd you do that? All of a sudden, Solo hits Jimmy, his own brother, with a Samoan spike.
Shocker.
And yes, and then you want to talk about no selling. Jimmy, he's on the ground looking up at Solo. Jay, he immediately, when he sees what's going on, he immediately checks on Jimmy. Jimmy is looking up at Solo, holding his chin.
He
So he
glared
kind
at
of,
him.
yeah, he kind of no sold the spike, but that's here nor there. So now Solo has chosen his side. He is chosen to stick with Roman. They leave the ring. This was probably the best part of the whole segment. They're leaving the ring, and Paul Heyman says, "My tribal chief, what about Jay?" And Roman says,
He'll fall in line like he always does.
"Yeah,
So
he'll come home."
he expects Jay to turn on Jimmy now.
Yeah, and he said it with such confidence. He'll fall in line like he always does. And that's how we fade to black and go off the air. So really, that whole SmackDown was about that segment.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it was Roman Reigns' night, so
Yeah, I mean,
it was going to be that way.
regardless of my issues with the lineage of the belt, the like you said, it's still a big deal that he has the title for 1,000 days, and he is the guy. He's just not on the level of Hulk Hogan.
Well, there you go. In another year, he may be.
So, what was your favorite pro wrestling moment?
Um, that is quite the question. So I think I would have to go with Imperium versus the Alpha Academy.
Okay,
Wrestling wise, I thought that was the best match of the week.
all right. And sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment wise, I'm going off the beaten path here. I'm actually going with, and I don't know if it even counts, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ilya Dragunov and Dominic Dijakovic, NXT whatever it was, Battleground, Last Man Standing. That's my sports entertainment of the week.
I don't. Okay.
Wait, nope, I already said it. I forgot about Anarchy in the Arena, but I don't know if I said that on the show, so I don't know if it counts.
It's all good. Yeah, and you did, but either way,
Either
whatever.
way, they're co sports entertainment segments of the week. There you go.
Right on.
I'm making up more rules. And what about you? Wrestling match of the week?
Indus Share beating up the fuck out of those jobbers.
Always love a good squash match. And what was your sports entertainment moment of the week?
That's easy. It's Io, Sky, and Asuka sharing a moment.
Oh yeah, there was a lot to pick from this week. We both went totally different.
Yeah, well, I picked the one it's given us success historically. Maybe we'll turn this into a clip.
Just that little part.
This is a little part.
I said, Oscar Neo, get it. But on that note, uh, if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment of, I forgot what the comment was from earlier. So we're just going to say now, leave a comment of closer. And is there anything else?
Have a good night.
And Top Guys out.